Hello. Today I will go over a short demonstration and presentation of my travel itinerary planning and management tool, which is a Python and Tkinter based application designed for storing itinerary entries. Focusing on a user-friendly design, the tool supports itinerary creation, editing, and management. Critical section of what I'm going to talk about today is the system design, data handling, the graphics user development, user interface development, and the user interaction flows. I will also talk about the challenges and solutions encountered during development, providing insights into the project's iterative design and implementation process. And with it, I will also talk about the project's future goals and potential future enhancements that can broaden its functionality. The project that I will be showcasing today properly showcases the application of Python in programming to create a practical user-centric software solution. So going into the project background as to why I'm making this, right? In today's fast-paced world, travel has become very integral to our lives. As COVID-19 has swept the world, people are now going back into traveling. And I feel as though having a tool where you can effectively store all your travel information is something that is well needed and useful. So, in for my objective in this project, within the scope of this project, is to create a user-friendly uh, interface for the application, which can seamlessly create, view, search, edit, and delete travel itineraries and activities. The scope, let's talk about the scope of this project. The scope of this project is the scope of this project encompasses the functionality where we can add, edit, and delete along with search and retrieve um, itinerary entries, the user experience, data handlings, and our limitations. Our limitations include, but is not limited to, not being able to access real-time map data, not being able to access real-time flight booking capabilities, and might be looked into the future as future prospects. So to talk about data storage, in this application, I will be using JSON to store the data structures and the dictionaries as necessary for the application. I will be using Tkinter to make the user interface. It will be a Tkinter along with Tkinter Bootstrap application, which uses Python image library to create a user-friendly interface. Let's talk about the project structure. The graphics user interface.py or GUI.py is the main graphical user interface of the application. It sets up the main window, loads the background image, and places the start button. It also handles the event of the start button being clicked, which hides the main view and shows the home screen. I will now run the application and just giving a short view of the code here. So, as I was saying, I will go over the implementation for GUI.py, first giving a show of my code here, and then running it as this is the main entry point of the program, pressing on start. And this is the implementation of the main view of the application. The main view of the application draws a canvas of a window first, and then a canvas on the window of 1024 by 1440, and then it places a button, the start button, at the locations marked along with the text here. When we press on start, we see that we go directly into this GUI, which is the home screen. The home screen contains all the necessary code that was required to make the itinerary manager. As you can see here, we have a search bar that can be used to search our entries. We have all the entries here with an edit and delete button right beside them, and an add itinerary button and a refresh list button that will refresh the uh, list being shown here. So let's show an itinerary being edited. So for example, if we have gone to this one, we can see that we can change the date here. So let's select the 30th, and let's just say we don't want to write hotel anymore here. So we'll click on submit, and it will be automatically updated with its position maintained right on spot. And if we want to delete it, we'll just click on delete. Yes, and that entry is not any longer here. So we can also go to add itinerary, and we can make our own custom itinerary here. So let's go for Halifax. We can select our country here from the drop down menu, and let's select Canada, and let's just go for a different date, and let's not provide any hotel name or values here. We can submit, and it takes the input properly, and we can see that it goes to the bottom of the list. We have to refresh it to see that our entry has been added properly. And as you can see, I have had another test run as well. So this is the implementation for adding, editing, and deleting their itineraries. Now we'll go for searching by countries. We can search here, we can write Australia, and we can see on a press of a return or the enter button, like the search bar will work properly. We can also press on search country, and it will also work. We can see that it manages to search up the countries properly. We can also not finish the name completely, and we'll still have the right answer. If we search only one letter, we'll get every single country that has the letter A in it, basically. And that is about it. That is the current implementation of the travel itinerary management software. And yeah, as I have finished talking about my implementation, I would want to go over some of the design changes that I had made throughout working on this program. At first, the idea was to go for a program that goes to a screen which, like, you can choose a button where you would have a button that says view itineraries, and then you could go to the list that shows the itineraries, and vice versa, right? Like go back, add, and refresh. I went for a more user-friendly design by using the Tkinter bootstrap, and having the buttons look better and work better in this way as well. As you can see, the back button here works as well. Um, for opening up the files, as you can see, this start button is an image file, and the background is also an image. Working with image files in Visual Studio Code or any IDE, for example, working with these files, we had to basically set up the working directory to the current directory of this script manually. So this was one of the problems that I had faced when working with this code, where the files weren't opening, and I couldn't like figure out why. As for displaying the home screen, when I move from the main view to the home screen, I was at first not getting any output. This entire screen was not showing up. So I realized that even though my code in itself was completely fine, since I wasn't filling it up and expanding the like self.pack code, the GUI was not properly being like shown or packed to the display. So working around these issues and working with different levels of inheritance, working around the models and the itineraries, adding, deleting, editing the itineraries has been fun, but also an iterative process where I had to go over mistakes that I had made throughout. And that concludes my presentation for the travel itinerary planning and management tool. And yeah.